Very entertaining basketball game. Very, very entertaining basketball game as Virginia wins the national championship in overtime. Are you serious? Unbelievable. This is a Disney movie. That's what this is, a Disney movie. From what happened last year, 16 seed ends up beating a number one overall squad. That just doesn't happen. I don't know if we're ever going to see it again. That's how rare that thing is. And for the emotional loss that they had in the locker room and just the devastation and the brutal, brutal, brutal pain of that loss to come back the next season and win the national championship, and for their run, the run that they had, Oregon, Purdue, Auburn, and then to win it in overtime against Texas Tech. It's crazy what run they just went on to finish the job and win the national championship. As a fan of college hoops, knowing that this is a defensive type battle, two squads that just live and die by their defense and their efforts and their hustle, I was so overwhelmed with how great this game really was, and the offense picked up. Great shots were being made late. Virginia, though, I will say this. Virginia, for about 90% of regulation, if not more, had control of the basketball game. It was their basketball game in possession. But I kept saying this. Texas Tech was hanging around. That's what they were doing. They were just a few points behind. Even if it was some points 9, 7 points, they were just lingering, and I could smell it. I could smell a little run, which Texas Tech did end up going on, and they did take the lead, and Texas Tech had a chance. There was one chance throughout this entire game where I took a look at this game and said, they have a chance here if they finish the job on the defensive end. They were up 3, and with 12 seconds left, as Virginia was going to the rack with an open lane, a help defender comes over. Virginia kicks it out for 3 to Hunter, who had an outstanding game, and he ties the ball game up with a 3 bomb with 12 seconds left. You let them take the 2, you get the ball inbounded, you let them foul you when you go to the charity stripe to finish the job. The last thing you do in that spot right there is let them get a wide open look for 3, and their best player all night wide open. He's the one who hits it. Now I know Kyle Guy is the big how do you do at the end of the day, but Hunter was the big splash guy throughout, especially the second half, as he had 27 and 7, and you just can't leave him wide open there. So as soon as Virginia retied the ball game up with 12 seconds left, I knew. I really did. I knew. And here's another factor in this ball game. With Texas Tech, when Culver goes 5 of 22 from the field, that's just not going to get it done. You have to rely on your bench guys, Edwards and Francis, to get you 29 off the bench. When your go-to guy, Culver, is struggling that much and shooting that poorly from the field, it's going to be an issue. Now, he did have a huge go-ahead bucket late in regulation with that beautiful, beautiful spin move from starting from the top of the key, but realistically, you can't rely on that if you're Texas Tech, and it was still that close, even with him struggling to that degree. But Texas Tech, without capitalizing on that situation defensively, that did end up, in my opinion, costing them the game as Virginia just took it, and they rolled with it in overtime. Kyle Guy had 24 points, Jerome 16, 9, and 8, and Virginia, they were hitting their free throws late, and that was key because that definitely helped them get over the hump. And just what a remarkable story. It really is a Disney movie if you think about it. Just an outstanding turn of events from one extreme low to the ultimate high the year after. And Chris Beard after the game said, we give credit to Virginia. It's not about us. Let's give credit to Virginia and Coach Bennett for what he did with this team. That squad out there is real, and they handled it with a very professional attitude. What a damn game. It's not the most prettiest game for just a standard college basketball fan or your casual fan. It's not a Duke UNC. It's not a Michigan State. It's not a Michigan. It's not these powerhouse squads, but it delivered. And being a more in-depth college basketball fan, I was definitely in love with this matchup and very excited for it throughout the entire day. I couldn't wait for it to tip off because I knew the value in these squads and I knew it would be a deep, deep competitive matchup, and it was just that. But I was even overwhelmed. Like, I knew it would be an awesome matchup, but it even exceeded my expectations more than I thought, and I knew it was going to be great. For Virginia, though, wow. And I do want to just mention one point. And this does not take away from what Virginia did. It does not, let me repeat, it does not take away from Virginia's win, because I thought they controlled this basketball game. I thought all around they were the better basketball team, and they deserved to win this game. But that replay at the end of overtime, it was the right call. Technically, correct call. We'll go with that. Technically, yes, right call. Am I 100% sold that it touched the pinky of the Texas Tech guard? Maybe 98. Maybe even 99. But am I 100% sure? No, but that's not the issue. The issue is the depth and the depth of the dissection of the instant replay that bothers me. The intent was never to zoom in super slow-mo and zoom in insanely to see if a ball accidentally nips a tip of a pinky before going out of bounds. It's just to the extreme of the dissection. Now, once again, it doesn't take away from Virginia. They were the better team. I thought they deserved to win this basketball game, and that wasn't the reason why Virginia won. Okay, it wasn't. I'm just saying, as a sports fan and seeing where the NFL is going with pass interference calls, and I don't know where it's going to go. But to zoom in super slow-mo to see maybe a part of the ball nip a pinky before going out of bounds, I mean, listen, that bothers me, but I hear the other side where I say, well, you have the replay, why wouldn't you want to get it right? And that's technically the right call. Okay, I mean, whatever. I don't want to get too harshly into it, but that's how I feel on it. All around, I loved it, but now I'm upset because there's no college basketball. There's nothing like the one shining moment. I tear up a little bit, right? I'll tear up. The one shining moment, seeing all the emotional players out there, from buzzer beaters to injuries to losing, and seeing the seniors cry, and just remembering the greatest pretty much playoff system there is. There's nothing better to me than the Thursday and the Friday of March Madness, the first Thursday and Friday, and then you follow it up with Saturday, Sunday, but there's nothing like the NCAA tournament to me. And the one shining moment, all it does is it makes me remember the hours, countless hours of me and my buddies kicking back, drinking some cold ones, watching the first rounds and the Sweet 16s and the Elite Eights, and just hanging out, kicking back, watching basketball. And now we got to wait a whole year again to see it. But I'm not upset at all whatsoever with this year's tournament. I thought a lot of the top-seeded teams made it far, which makes it more entertaining. And at the end of the day, I was very thrilled with the national championship to see it go into overtime. Even though throughout the regulation period, I sat there and said, well, it looks like Virginia might be able to roll away with this. But I did keep saying there's something fishy about Texas Tech just holding on. And they had it. They really did. They had their opportunity. Texas Tech did, to win the game. It just comes down to a defensive assignment, maybe overcommitting on some help D and allowing one of their best players wide open for three to tie it up with 12 seconds left. That just, it really can't happen at that time. In my opinion, you let them take the lane. You'd rather have them take two than give up the wide open three. You're still up one at that point with 12 seconds left or so, or maybe a little more because the kick out and the shot takes a little longer. Say there's 15 seconds left. Well, you inbound the ball, you foul, and you go make your free throws, and you win yourself a ball game. That's how I would have done it, absolutely. But listen, I was so on the edge of my seat for this one. Entertained is an understatement. So down below, I want to know your thoughts on this game. Are you happy Virginia won? Did you think Texas Tech could have won? Any of the points I talked about, I want to know your thoughts, and I'm curious to hear your opinion on the replay. Do you think it's right because, hey, technically it was the right call? Or is it going to the extreme of a nick of the pinky to go out of bounds? But it's the right call. But are we dissecting it too much? Once again, not the reason why Virginia won. So, congratulations to Virginia, because I could only imagine the devastation they've been through all season long, and the grind to get back, and the grind in the offseason, and the grind in the beginning of the season, knowing what they went through last year, and even in the beginning of this this March Madness, they were down to Gardner Webb or whatever the hell that school name is. They were down. And everyone said, is this really going to happen again? And I thought it might have. But then down the stretch in the tournament, you're telling me they grind out an Oregon win. They win this Purdue game where they get a rebound on a missed free throw that goes to the backcourt and end up hitting a buzzer beater at the end of regulation, and then they get the job done. And then they take on that Auburn squad where they win on that type of victory, where there's a double dribble that doesn't get called in a foul on a three-point play, and Kyle Guy steps up to hit 3 in a row. And then this, it's crazy. It is a sports story to remember. This is the beauty of sports, and you just got to appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.